Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's been a while since I made a NASCAR video, and it's going to be actually a little bit different than what I usually make. In my opinion, I'm going to say it again, in my opinion, I just want to talk about the NASCAR gaming world. And I've seen videos and all this of, what the future could be, and pretty much, what to expect in the near future. Well, pretty much, I just want to talk about how I think NASCAR is going to go. And what I think NASCAR should do. So firstly, I want to talk about the brief history in a summarization. We had EA, which had the best game of all time in the NASCAR world of NASCAR Thunder 2004, but that was almost 20 years ago, and that game's older than me. So that's a bad sign right there. If there's a game that's older than me, even though I'm 18, but if there's a game that's older than me, and it's not rivaling that, it's a problem. Because now we're looking at it as nothing can touch this. And it's now the sole game we're going back to because we can have a good game in the year 2022. After EA, we waited a year or two, and here comes Technics, which made NASCAR the game 2011, which was honestly fine. It just disappointed us with all the hype that it had in the trailer. The same thing with NASCAR 2013, NASCAR 2014, and NASCAR 2015. And then that stopped for a while. But an interesting fact that probably not a lot of people realize, the garage concept is the same as NASCAR 08's concept, which was, except the only difference was NASCAR 08 was just black. It was like you could see the car and the rest was black. And NASCAR 09, it was like you could see pretty much 5 cars down. So after Technics jumped ship, they went to Duesenberry Martin / 704 with NASCAR Evolution. Looked good, played terribly, just like another game I know, and pretty much people weren't happy with it. NASCAR E2 came out and it was pretty good. NASCAR E3 came out, it was okay, better than 2, but you lose me after 3 games. If you're taking me 3 games and I'm still not satisfied with it, then what's the point of making a 4th or 5th game and hoping, oh my god, it's going to be even better? 4 and 5 were better, still didn't understand it though. But it told me something. You better be grateful with what you've had. Or what you have now. Because the next year may not even be even close to what you've even thought of. AKA NASCAR 21 Ignition. We all know how that went. It looked pretty good. It didn't play good though. It brought new concepts and old concepts. It still didn't perform well. And then there's a big argument of, actually, you should just give it some time in this game, which means you still have hope, which I appreciate. But the issue is, we gave hope on literally all the Heat games, and they still couldn't deliver. They still couldn't deliver, which really, really bothered me. And I didn't like that. I really did not like that. So patience is running low when it comes to NASCAR games. But say, what do you expect? Luckily, they're not making NASCAR 22, and they probably will never make another NASCAR game. They got BCCC, IndyCar, they had the Le Mans at one point, and obviously the NASCAR. And they also bought games like Kartcraft, R Factor, and I was like, bro, they didn't even have, they were too far into themselves, but that's what happens when you have a con artist just happen to be running the whole show. Buy everything, invest into it, profit from it, and then when everything goes wrong, just get it out. Get all of it out before it's too late. That's how it goes. But who am I to say? I don't know the business like that. We've now had a game where you can't even you can't even play because you're going to be pissed off too. They didn't even have the basics. A mirror, for God's sake. Stage racing. They didn't even have those two. And that's a necessity in a NASCAR game. Actually, a mirror is a necessity in any game with a car. And yet they failed on that aspect. I gotta say, man, we have been brainwashed by the little things that we have. Luckily, there's a thing called mods. And right now, that's the only thing saving half of the community's sanity. Because if we didn't have mods, I don't even think NASCAR would be a thing at this point. So now the question is, well, what the hell does not only NASCAR do, but the people who make the next NASCAR game do? Because they have this model, it's like, it's the one you gotta make a game of year model, which is honestly the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. make a game a year. I mean, some companies, some sports do that, but that's because they wanted to keep it fresh. There's no way NASCAR can have a game a year because they can't even. Because, well, one perfect example, let's go back to 704. It was just a seasonal pass thing. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Same concept, same engine, same whatnot, same thing. It was a seasonal update, seasonal update, just in a new game. The same price, $60. That was pretty much it. So what is next for NASCAR, and what's next for the people who play it and the people who make it? Well, that's where the bulk of this video is going to be talking about, because I have a solution. It may not work, but we have to try it at least. You think about it like this. If we can't trust EA because they'll hop on your hype train, and once that train goes south, they head to their departure. If you can't trust Motorsport Games because they like to scam you out of your money, and if you can't trust companies like 704 and Technics because they know what they're doing, it's just that it takes them a little longer than it's supposed to, and you get frustrated with that. There's only one person or one team we can trust, and that's the whole NASCAR community itself. We have to trust the NASCAR community, aka ourselves, into making a NASCAR game. Now, I say that with confidence, but I guarantee you one thing right now. Like 3% of the community don't even know how to start. And I'm going to bring up an example. First, I'm going to bring up a non-NASCAR example. Look at Sonic Mania. Ever since Sonic Adventure 2 came out, Sonic has been dying in terms of popularity. Everything wasn't going so well, except for Sonic X, which was a little anime show they put on. I liked it. So Sega had no clue what they were doing wrong, so they turned to the community, and the community was amazed. They saw the fan art, the ROM hacks, and the fan games they made, and Sega thought it was an opportunity to make a game from the community scratch up and have it publicly licensed. And guess what? It worked. 2 Sonic movies later, and 2 more Sonic games later coming out, and now a Netflix series that is potentially in the works, Sonic is back to relevancy. That's all you need. It's just relevancy and not really fighting for competition like that. That's all you need. The community is standing right behind you. But the problem is, you can't have a community standing right behind you when it's just the same bland stuff every year until there's one outlier that says, you know what, enough with it. We'll just make our own. And it will work. Now, let's bring up a now NASCAR example. IDK. Look what IDK is doing. He's making NR Thunder for Roblox. He's trying to bring back that joy we had, even though I don't have Roblox. Hell, I don't even have a PC. But guess what? I might play it here and there because it's fresh, new content. Not for me to record, but for me to play. And I enjoy that. I want to play a new NASCAR game. I want to play something new. I don't want to keep on going back to NASCAR Thunder 2003, NASCAR Thunder 2004, NASCAR Heat 5. I don't want to keep on going back to those games. It gets boring and boring over time. And that's what I hate about going back to old games. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how to make a NASCAR game. Hell, not even a lot of people would admit the fact that, hey, the community has to do it themselves. We have mods, and even though those mods even sometimes make just paint schemes, that's all you need, just a spark. Now, I haven't committed to myself saying, well, I'm going to be making a NASCAR game, because, like I said, I don't know the steps to that. IDK's doing a good job of it, and probably later on, this might overtake, this will overtake NASCAR 21 Ignition in terms of popularity. But what can I say? I haven't even played it yet. But all in all, if we don't trust our own damn community who's played if not all of the NASCAR games, then why can't we trust another company? You can't even have a short list of companies because it's so hard to assume that they're going to make a NASCAR game. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. That's the only way I think NASCAR can be saved, if you make your own game, but who knows?